Hello everyone, Low Poly Levi here, and today you may be wondering what's with my fancy getup. Well, it's actually to celebrate our recent milestone of 200 subscribers. I just wanted to thank everyone who's out there watching, liking, and of course subscribing. It's really nice to know that people enjoy my writing and my editing and all my goofy content. And with that being said, let's get on with the video. Ever since my last video, I realized something profound. I'm quite stupid. All I do is play video games and talk about playing video games. Imagine how smart I could be if instead of wasting my time, I started learning. But if I found anything on my last 37 years of living on this planet, it's that you can't go cold turkey. So instead of just picking up a book, I think it'd be great to play some educational video games. Ah yes, educational games, or as they're called, edutainment games. Back when I was a kid, these were the bane of my existence. I'd be playing a cool little platformer, and now suddenly I'm bombarded with math problems. Though I guess I was born in the wrong generation, since back in the 80s and 90s, Nintendo actually dabbled in edutainment games themselves. You see, it was a bit of a dying market. After all, if you're a kid asking for new games for your console, are you going to ask for Sesame Street or Mario? So Nintendo saw this as a bit of an opportunity, originally throwing their hat in the ring with Donkey Kong Jr. Math, a simple rehash of the regular DK Jr., but now you climb to get numbers to answer the math problem asked by DK. It was pretty bad, which led to poor sales figures, and of course, because of that, it's now a bit of a collector's item. Though Nintendo didn't stop after one failure, of course. They quickly turned it around with Mario Paint, which didn't only sell very well, but it also helped raise the SNES sales as it was part of a special deal, advertised as art and music school all in one. But I wanted to talk about the more interesting educational Mario games, so buckle up as we talk about this freaking guy. Back before Nintendo were such babies, they experimented with putting their educational games on Windows DOS. One of the most infamous was Mario Teaches Typing 2, which we don't gotta talk about the first one since it's literally the same game, but worse. So, MTT2 is a simple typing game in which as you type, Mario, Luigi, or the princess will move around the course, running, jumping, and not stomping on, but running through enemies. I didn't have the outdated technology in order to play this, but from watching I can say it looks fine enough. They actually use some really weird words in this game that I'm not sure they should have. Words like maniac, or zombie, or bomb, or burned, it's just kind of weird that they use those words. But none of that really matters because that's not what you're here for. He is what you're here for. Yes, this game was popularized by this goofy-looking Mario, which people used in a series of goofy videos called YouTube Poops, in which the floating Mario would often do something stupid, or they would stitch together his lines that have him say often absurd things.
Hey, Mario!
Have you got any food?
Yes, I have lots of
Food?
Oh boy!
Equally weird out of this game that isn't talked about nearly as much is the cutscenes. They don't look as bad as the Hotel Mario cutscenes, but they're ugly in a whole other way. At the same time, though, I can't say I quite hate them. There's a strange level of charm to them. The story told in them is quite simple. Mario and Luigi find a magical typewriter, which is the key to killing Bowser. Right after the typewriter explicitly states that incorrectly typing the magical spell will lead to its self-destruction, Mario proceeds to incorrectly type the magic spell, leading to its self-destruction. And so the parts scatter everywhere, so we gotta get it back. We kill a Koopa and get the first part before another Koopa comes and plants dynamite and proceeds to blow up the bridge, take another piece of the typewriter, and walks into a freaky-looking castle. Seriously, I know there's bombs in the Mario universe, but they're like cartoony living bombs. I never thought I'd see the day Bowser's forces just use actual explosives. It feels less like cartoon antics and more like terrorism. So Mario and Luigi decide to go scuba diving for the next part, finding a sunken ship and accidentally awakening a giant squid and narrowly avoiding a gruesome death. With 2 pieces in hand, they make their way to the castle by getting eaten by said castle. It's honestly kind of creepy. We then take out an entire group of Koopas just wanting to play some poker, and with the typewriter now put back together, we escape the castle and perfectly spell the spell, and then the castle is destroyed, with its eyeballs flying into the air. Why are these games always so creepy? Can't speak much on the gameplay since I haven't played it, but I played my fair share of typing games as a kid, and I can say if you would have given me this, I would have had a blast. The cutscenes, even in their questionable quality, are still entertaining, and the floating Mario head will never not be funny. Now with that one out of the way, instead of learning to type, let's learn some history. Mario's Time Machine sounds like a really cool game until you remember it's for educational purposes. It was actually released on multiple different platforms, those being DOS, NES, and SNES. I'll be using footage of the SNES version since I could actually play it and get a truly fair review. The game starts with an honestly really hype cutscene with nice art and a poppin' song. Take a listen. This story actually goes Insano style, so buckle up. Bowser H used his time machine to take different artifacts from the past and is apparently altering the course of time, so we gotta put a stop to him. On the title screen, when we press start, Mario actually walks towards the castle, which is really cool. We start in Bowser's castle next to all the artifacts. We have to grab an artifact and select the right year and location to return it to. For example, for Sir Isaac Newton's apple, we have to go to Cambridge in 1687. To actually make the time machine work, you have to go through a little mini-game in which you surf around avoiding enemies and collecting mushrooms. It has this really cool Mode 7 look to it, and it's just awesome for a little educational game. When you actually get to the area, though, it's a bit less fun. It's just a talking simulator and a walking simulator. And can I just say, Mario looks really out of place here. The people you talk to will not so subtly tell you facts in which you will put into your notes. There's also a bit of trading before you can give the artifact to the next person. Once you've done everything you need to, you go back and get ready to give the next artifact to the next person, on and on and on until the end. Once you complete everything, we can finally confront Bowser, and what's really cool is that there's actually different endings, depending on how fast you went and the order you went in. The quote-unquote worst ending is Bowser getting away and living it up on a beach, but since Bowser is my goat, this ending is actually pretty good. The mid-ending is Bowser's time machine overloading and him getting sent to prehistoric times, and the best ending is the same, but with Bowser getting smushed into a gooey pile with his eyes darting around. Again, why do these games always have to be so creepy? This game was, alright. I played it. It feels alright to play, and the surfing minigame is actually pretty fun. But there's not much gameplay beyond that, and most of it is just raiding. Aside from that, the art is actually pretty nice, if not a bit scuffed at times. Why does Mario look like he was vertically stretched by the tiniest amount? And again, Mario is just so out of place in some of these scenes. Even still, if I was given this as a kid in history class, I, again, would have had a blast. Now, maybe that one wasn't great, but maybe Luigi will do it a little bit better. Ah, good old Luigi, my goat. This man is what I aspire to be. While Luigi's Mansion is often credited as Luigi's first solo outing, it's actually not the case. In the aptly named Mario is Missing, it was Luigi's first time in the spotlight, predating his Mansion outing by about 9 years. Fun fact, the DOS version of the game was where the infamous Ouija meme came from, but sadly I again am using footage of the SNES version for the sake of fairness, so you won't get to bask in the glory of this amazing sprite. So to make up for this, I'll be putting a tiny Ouija in the corner. You can thank me in the comments below and say something like, I don't know.
Wow, Paul Levi, you're the actual king of YouTube. I'm so thankful that you decided to make the brilliant decision to put a tiny Ouija at the corner of my screen.
Don't actually comment that, that's stupid. I bet you'll never guess the story. But yes, in Mario is Missing, Mario is missing. Luigi, who actually speaks by the way, as well as Yoshi, have to look for him. We start in Bowser's castle with a banner of Ludwig von Koopa on the wall. I wonder what that could mean. Upon entry through the first door, we're now in a random city. The basic gameplay is talk to people to find out where you are and facts about the area, kill the Koopa holding the missing artifact, and, if you so choose, go to the globe map and send Yoshi to your current location so you can go a little bit faster. Looking at the map and traversing the city is actually pretty cool, but again, there isn't much platforming, and the Koopas don't even hurt you. Like, I get it, the main priority is for the kid playing to learn, but come on, you couldn't add a little bit of challenge? The movement also feels a tiny bit off. Your jumps feel heavy, yet floaty, the walking is incredibly slow, and yet the running is just a little bit too fast. It's not great, but it's not unplayable. Once you have all the knowledge you require in the missing artifact, you can go to these info stands and return the goods and make actual bank. How come whenever Luigi has a game, it always involves him making tens of thousands of dollars? I can at least see the game looks nice, and the characters look Mario-esque enough, unlike Mario's Time Machine. Also, the music is actually pretty hype. Take a listen. Once you return the artifacts, apart from making tons of money, you also get a picture of the artifact with this little Luigi sprite next to it. It's a fun little addition to help contextualize everything you're learning. After completing all the levels on this floor, we get to fight Ludwig, and man, I bet this is gonna be hype. I bet this fight is gonna be better than anything out of Elden Ring. Cool. And then you go to the next floor and do some more levels in different locales. Rinse, repeat. What's strange is that you only fight Ludwig, Lemmy, and Roy. Would have been cooler if they just had less levels on each floor and had a fight for each of the Koopalings. But I digress. After defeating Roy, we finally find and save Mario, but Bowser drops in. Instead of fighting him, we drop him into a large cannon, and he gets blasted into the Arctic snow before freezing and crumbling into pieces. This has got to be the most brutal Bowser death. I've said it so many times today, but again, why do these games got to be so creepy? This game was alright. It didn't feel great to control, but traversing in a big city was really nice, and the settings were all pretty enjoyable. Again, I gotta say the art is pretty on point, except for Bowser. He does look a little bit weird, but fine nonetheless. The music is also really great, most of it being remixes of Mario World music. Also pretty educational. Got to learn a little bit of history and a little bit of geography. Also seeing the different pictures of the different artifacts was actually really cool. Maybe edutainment games weren't up to the highest quality back in the day, but hey, anything would have been better than worksheets. Nowadays, schools are using things like Minecraft for educational purposes, which is a good sign for games being used in class. Maybe it won't be the best decision in all cases, but hey, it'd at least be a lot more engaging. It can also help kids to compare things they're learning to something they're familiar with. Helps dumb it down in a way. And with all that being said, why don't you hit the like button? It really helps. Anyway, I've been Low Poly Levi, you've been a great viewer, and...
It's me, Mario.
Excuse me?
Hey, I'm hungry. Have you got any food?
No, I'm having none of this.
Oh no, I'm a fallen, and I can't get up. That is my impression of American advertising. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great, he must be invincible to my shotgun. I ain't got no time for this. Time for the real big guns. What do you think of that, Mario?
Hey, who's that behind you? Maybe look.
Hey, that ain't fair.
Oh no, I'm a fallen, and I can't get up.
Go eat!
Hey, don't leave me on